Hey everyone, this is my uh, screencast of project-based learning. So, just to kind of summarize what is project-based learning, it's focused around the student and helps students gain a deeper knowledge and understanding through exploration. Students also work for long periods of time and are working on a complex question or a problem. And project-based learning is also collaborative and built on content knowledge, and other skills. So for Chapter 3, it's titled Imagining the Possibilities. I noticed that a good portion of this chapter focuses on the most important things that you want to focus on, and what are the big ideas you want your students to learn through project-based learning, or PBL. And it kind of gets to the core of the subject being taught, and what you want the students to remember. And then also within your subject area or areas for multiple subjects, what concepts, or what the main idea or concepts do that you want to help students understand. And I liked this picture that it kind of branches out from that, of you have your question and then it kind of branches out what you want the students to know. And then Chapter 3 also talks about kind of the skills you want students to learn or utilize. And it talks about global awareness, things like global awareness, self-direction, some risk-taking, responsibility, communication with their peers, and being productive and self-motivating. PBL should also have students analyzing, evaluating, and creating. And then also, most important, keep students in mind, obviously, when planning. And this also helps kind of keep students engaged. If you can also utilize things that they are interested in. And then this kind of shows visually like the positive things of PBLs. And then things I liked and didn't like in Chapter 3. Some of the positives. I like how this chapter gave a lot of helpful information for teachers to keep in mind as they start incorporating PBLs into their classroom. Kind of the main thing, which I guess is students without access to technology, but this also goes back to knowing the demographics of your students in your classroom and the school. And then Chapter 4, strategies for discovery. I like how this chapter focuses on strategies for creating good PBLs, and also gives you strategies to help you make sure the PBLs you use are positive, and to avoid weak ones. And on this slide, I kind of focus on the pitfalls, or what kind of trying to avoid weak PBLs, and things to keep in mind are to look past the intrigue of the project, make sure they are not too long with small learning goals or objectives. Don't just use technology, so doing kind of also hands-on things. Don't confuse PBL for thematic units. So this chapter talks about, yes, You can use thematic things, but it shouldn't be like they're not one and the same. Avoid too many steps. And then for assessments, not enough focus and not being like authentic assessments. And then strategies to have a create good PBLs. They have a loose design, which can create many different learning paths, so it's not just one thing that students can kind of really be creative with it. Can help students create constructive meaning. It goes beyond the school environment, so they think about the community and kind of globally, and it incorporates students' interests and also real life. Has kind of one central question or focus. It's realistic and can use many different subjects, hands-on. Students are learning from each other, and that it's a safe space. Then kind of things I liked in this chapter. I enjoyed how this chapter focused on different things you can run into during your PBL, that it kind of helps you think through everything, and it helps give you ideas of how to get started. Gives you a contrast between good projects and ones that are lacking. And then I didn't really find anything in this chapter that I didn't like. And then chapter 5. So I just kind of summarized summative assessments and formative assessments for you, because I had never heard those terms before. So summative assessments evaluate students at the end of a unit by using a standard or a benchmark. And you can see that over here in the blue. And then formative assessments can be formal and informal assessments done by the teacher during the learning process. And those can be things like quizzes, observations, using T-charts and Venn diagrams, those sorts of things, homework, etc., etc. And then in the middle are things that they have in common. And then this slide talks about different assessments you can use. So rubrics obviously explain how something will be assessed or graded. Many teachers do create their own. It just depends. There are some schools out there that use school-wide rubrics and customize them so they all kind of grade the same, and then adjust what needs to be adjusted depending on the subject, which kind of helps because as students go from kind of class to class, they know what to expect. And then for assignments and tasks, you can kind of blend old and new things together, use kind of real world assessments. So instead of just kind of doing like A, B, C, D, those kinds of things, make it more real world, and then creating something new with the material. And then in chapter 5, what I liked, I liked how through the chapter, it kind of gave examples of the different kinds of assessments, and then also seeing the different kinds of rubrics that could be used. And then, once again, there was nothing really negative or things that I didn't like about it. And then for references, obviously the book, and then I got all my photos from Google. So that's it. Thanks for watching.